Okay, let's get this started. Good afternoon from Toronto. Saturdays, I usually do marketing for our next game, Urban Farmer. So if you were watching the other streams from yesterday and the day before, they were heavily um, topics were around tool development. This game. I think Wednesday was more on game development, but then the last couple of days build ways to facilitate model creation. But today I'm going to do some marketing, which means I'm going to be doing things manually. So, but this kind of work also helps the game development, discovering the light conditions, some other things that will mostly go into the camera angles. So put this know-how back into. So bit of more background story here. In the game so far, the last few days, this is what we're trying to do. That we would have interactive objects such as this trellis. We would receive other interactive objects such as this eggplant. This eggplant could only start growing from designated spots in this trellis model. You see position information here, here, here for climbing up types of plants, and then two spots here and here. I to put it here. So two plants in this deep area. So of course today I'll be most likely placing them manually, but in the game context the player will place them wherever they want. There may be some limitations, like you cannot grow it along this edge, but going to be more for peas or beans. Nevertheless, we won't be writing any game logic. Instead, we will just make here, which means I have to figure out how to put dirt here. Because when the player wants to place a trellis somewhere, it'll actually come and the structure. So I think today I should think of a layout. Maybe think of the camera angle and the shape. So let's first run this and see where our camera. And of course, some game code might process. So let's well non-existing function. Oh, I think I know what's happening. This is because of that tool development work creeping in. This model has a script active. It's actually a tool, and I believe that that tool is actually running. Yesterday's plan was actually taking this script out instead of making a tool which runs every single time this rendered. We don't want to do that. Create this interactive object based on a template and be done with it. We don't want to run this model instantiation logic every single time. So for now, what I can do, thing which will have to be later, say. So then for marketing scene, when I've done this, we'll still have this error because I think this time it is this, the trellis itself is correct. Also eggplant. Eggplant is part of this this object. Yeah, there's some conversation about labeling the root node with the model type. Should have actually plant. The other one should have been. This one has that here, so let's remove. Go into marketing 6. Okay, this is what we supposed to see. So I'll have to figure out a decent camera angle. This scene is already using the game's camera angle. It's going to be isometric, 90-degree rotation. This is this trellis here is really positive structure. Before I do anything else, maybe. And this guy has way dirt. Hey, look into climbing. What do we have? These. And there's a scale problem. This plant is 11 meters tall. It's huge. Unripe. Maybe I'll put one unripe and one ripe, but the scales. So this is showing the old selection. So how tall can these grow? Was as tall as the structure they are climbing onto. I think that our trellis model is either 1.8 meters tall or 2.1 meters. Suppose if we do it 2 meters, the peak will climb up here, but then this is so 1.5 meters for pieces from here to here. So it doesn't look like it's growing up. A little bit of over is fine, but too much will look like it's just you won't have support. It won't. So we should scale this by. We do it 10 times. It's going to be maybe 15%. Let's go scale 1.60. I have to export this. I may later come and remove the bottom vertices here. We'll always look at it from this thing has thickness. But I think for the vertical slice, it's because it's for demo and hopefully getting faster. Should also small. I believe this is where the root. So I need to snap to that snap documents, but then it always goes into absolute snap. And maybe the pivot point being here, not at the bottom, is okay. In case the dirt is lumpy enough that the sort of in a valley, like the bottom of the curve, dirt, uneven surface, so that at least there will be some leeway below this, because this is going to be the center point. That's fine. Select objects. I'm not going to investigate this option, but yesterday I was reading about each format has some benefits. This is the most versus things and such, but I'm going to be doing some tool development, maybe getting it. Anyway, it's broken down to pieces that it's not this job. Basic export. Check. Also, yesterday's conversation with really create models, sorry, materials in Godot or not. It will be, but not for today because marketing corners is full. Track folder name. Okay, back in Godot. Use our trellis model, and it's also labeled. Create a piece scene first, and I see I actually removed the function, but I think I can do that easily. Let's actually take advantage of our workload. Here's the template interactive scene. There's still a script. Now we'll choose a piece here, which does so. Let's actually okay. Piece. The model doesn't exist naturally, but once it's there, it's going. Trying to find the model. See, this happens. I think I have to go back and forth between. So it actually, yeah, this happens a lot to me. The first time I export it, it doesn't quite know. So here's the piece model assets. This may go later. This may merge with because if piece GLB is creating piece TT. So here it is. We no longer need interactive. And all we have to do is make it back. Okay. So we just automatically imported our piece scene into scene because I don't want this script to be running every single time, just like we plant mini. I save as, but then I'll remove up to the save as. Here I'm still editing. Makes me think I should save this as prefabs. Now the prefabs is this this workflow that I'm removing and filling things will be part of the study yesterday, but in the coming for now the manual will do. This is done. Go into marketing. This so in so now ideally position should be one of these three spots here along the whole part. When we use snap, what is the logic behind? Does it only snap to the grid points or does it snap position 3D? This it if anyone knows how to do that, it right now. I think what I'm trying to do is get the formation. This question me copy this. And maybe because those arbitrary, pull them a little bit forward. Save this and go into where we have. This looks like it's going through perfectly because there will always be some mismatch. I think I should grab the line. It's overexposed. One thing at a time. I think what I was doing in it's not the same way. This is using outdoors. But because here I'm using game world global illumination. It's not an interior scene, maybe harsh light. So then I have weird cases like these leaves. Of the camera. So normally they are kind of green from a certain angle. It's a different place, but same kind of problem. Kind of see it's repeated here for the this surface has the same color, but it's losing its texture. Also try something we talked about. Under materials. That is. I think this color is okay. I want to rule out all this is texture path and it's UV mapped. It's correct part on color palette. Like yesterday's work was about making our own color palette and creating so many materials reflecting them. I don't want to for the trellis or lumber. Here's some kind of like board here, some wood piece. Instead of this, I'm going to because this scene has no light. See, tape. Here's the maybe a bit lighter. There you go. But what I want to do is select this feather. But when we do it this way, it's not it's the old, it's everything except that one. Ah, normally updates so many things. I bet if I did this, it would help, but here I'm assigning to the surface one property of because this mesh instance is all different all these objects. This should never have come in. That's what we are gonna. So for the time being, I think this way will override it. Is this middle part here? It happens to be the root. Okay, override that. Save this. Go back. We are trying to see. Okay, this thing. This thing. So the color is different because we chose a different lumber color. It's cool, but still have that flat part problem. This is flat. This is slightly elevated here and more elevated here. This part. These two parts are curved. So the way the light is shining on these three parts, which is this just seems unnatural. There's also quality issue. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this. Our camera angle may never be that close, but even from here, I kind of see some art. It's as if there are horizontal lines scratched. You see them more. I'm thinking every bit of imperfection here and there is the source of this problem. Because I've seen this kind of weird behavior more pronounced when we had more quality. So I'm still trying to perfect that light condition, either overexpose or whether GI probe is necessary or. But I think this material override is okay for the. So go back in here and then first let's finish our work here, and then maybe I'll fuss with the trellis. Trellis eggplant. Want one more eggplant. So let's move this guy here. Where you have, you should. You should also rotate this. This. I think I will also move those two eggplants a little bit. This is their bottom edge. So that way the peas can take a little bit more. I may also alter this model because I think it makes sense if this edge aligns here. It's sort of a half unit, really. A little bit. You think of this part as the belly. That's actually an interesting case right now. At the expense of undoing some of my work. What if I go into trellis here? Kind of workflow I'm still. If I re-export something from Blend, how much information over it? This object's pivot point is here. Since this object will always be along building wall, or it's in the middle of the garden, you may still want to pick this backside as the. How do I achieve? I can actually eyeball it in Godot to fit this edge to grid. All I need to do is to trying to select things like the way these grids are gonna look this. Group them. To And when you do a collection, not created in the outline. Control G to group. Um, it's up front. Promise. But this is an extension. Never mind. So when I choose this and when I do Control L, Control plus now, it's still selecting its parent. Select all this. Was this Shift select? Well, what was the shortcut to select all these up? Alt. Press all the buttons. Select all. Google time. Uh, I could left click on object, shift. Well, that was the idea, but this is yeah. This I think became part of it. But then I think maybe they removed something. I don't remember clicking shift clicking something. I think that was when you are trying to use all the objects under. If you do this, shift click. Don't remember, but so this maybe add-on that I have. So collection also popped itself here. Shift. Yeah, I think it's move objects. Select objects, putting them in slot. Alt. Yeah. So clicking that area is yeah. So the, kind of the shortcuts that I remember on this is reject intercepted by this guy. So where is the front one? Select Now we will move this in. Eyeballing it. These are this 4, 6, that, right? It should be put into its own section. Move it, move it. Now this has to be scaled. Go in edit mode. I think this is smooth. And make them a little bit. Just touching it. Inside the bottom part. Wall. Yes. Depending on the camera angle, we might actually see the bottom part. Maybe to optimize it, I'll remove the part. It's actually, this won't be a volume thing, but more like a. We will never get to see the bottom. Any of these. What is being worked on today? So I'm working on marketing aspect of the game. I am curating a scene manually. I'm not writing any game logic. Manually bringing in models, figuring out a good lighting and camera control. So I could take screenshots and basically talk about the game, that when it's finished it's going to look like this. While I'm building the game, I'm trying to get interest. That is today's goal. Marketing. So I'm basically preparing marketing material to do marketing. Because talking about something without showing is sort of takes you only so far. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are, world. You may be typing over to the question, so I'm not sure. Um, if you are, then there's some Blender working. I'm trying to move the front panel further out so I could squeeze in more. When I put the plants, they look a bit crowded. It's too narrow. So now the goal is to export this Godot to see if our work over there will be overwritten or. Don't think in this case I should. Trellis, Mr. Trellis. It read some. Here's asset trellis. Does this look good? It does not. because we have to now do this. I believe see there's some bug. So you click this, you say open anyway. Leave it actually right model, but then this also has fixed. And it is fixed. It is fixed. Yeah. Only thing that is not quite this has lost its meter. It's not a big deal. We'll whatever we used for B9 B will be fail for save acid trellis. Go back in apps trellis. Good. Good eggplant. That way they will have a bit more room behind them, so this can actually go. Now may also forward 90 degrees. This create two more. There's position information for this guy. Copy. Let's go into this is kind of the third piece closer to base parameter. Select the middle. Second piece is right there. Now we have three pieces. Let's also alter the 5. This one 70. And this is where the lighting problem is in, of course. Something that actually is looking nice is pre-rendered. Let's see. These are climbing up the tree. Go behind. Still have to figure out this light issue. Interesting. Okay, dirt is missing. But peas look actually decent. Would have a quite dense peas, different 3 plants, lots of the edible parts. To be honest, their skill seems sense that should peas plant leaf be as big as. That's the thing. When we got these models done, we did not quite check their scale compared to other. They look decent by themselves. We'll see. That's why it's working. Um, Let's bring in dirt. Now, the dirt is an interesting topic. The way dirt is done, part of plant to fix the. Oh, this has never been still using the original. This has never been textured, but there is a different dirt, a bag of dirt. Now, dirt in a trellis unit or raised bed may not look as much, but I want to have some kind of deformation. Now, because the area the dirt will cover will be dynamic, that has to be done on the shader or on the fly mesh creation. To, I'm actually curious how 3D designer did this. Are all these color variations part of the key thing? Luckily, it's dirt. Yeah, they have more or less the same. There isn't much. It had been here, yeah. So, in other words, all this color variation is because of the way the light is. Because as in the camera, you get to see darker surface getting light, such. So we could technically have formed mesh in Godot, either dynamically created, affecting its wherever it's filled in, or we create that kind of lumpy look by writing a. Of course, the question is most relevant right now for our case today, for marketing purposes. How can we do it as quickly as possible, turning that into. Let's turn on some music. I think and okay. Actually have some dirt here. This is it's a plane subdivided, which is a material that I created below. That is used simply. When this is rendered, doesn't have that much. There's some again when the plants were not there, it kind of created a shadowy surface. Couldn't see the lumps that much, but it actually created some formed surface. So best way to try. Just create a machine. Pull it up a bit because then it's going to overlap with the floor there. Your mesh will be plain like that. Your material will be dirt and dirt. Dirt has kind of see. So this may be enough actually. Want to make it look more lumpy. Bump string. When the dirt this mesh instance should be part of this. Going to be part of the instance. We're going to call it soil for now. Plain. 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 Type dirt. The specialized case. Does it look dirty? Here's the board, the top of the board, so it should be less than. Shouldn't be as sizes off. So in let's do one, but I don't think we are doing it. This should be 0.5. Maybe more 75. And so it's actually cut off at the back here, so 0.6. Sticking out, not sticking. I think this might be cool. Here's your dirt. And to be honest, when it's covered with stuff, not really see it. You try one without the plants to be actually the dirt texture. Yeah, those peas, those buds, are just they look like some mutated plant. Scale is way off. Those eggplants are actually ripe. Um, So when you compare a peas plant to an eggplant, peas should look delicate. It's the opposite, as if the eggplants are like a kid there. But we kind of worked out the workflow here. Maybe I should replace the peas with beans. Let's investigate that option. Beans, plus they look red. But you know what? The designer took the peas plant, copied it, and changed the colors. This is gonna have the same. Except if I export a different model. It was the unripe case, but I don't think scale. It's kind of clipping up some fix there. The scale again 1.15. That's what we 15%, 0.0. Snap to implement this. I hope the so what are you? Are you're just a loose? You know what? Hi. And what are you? This? Just a loose leaf. So your pivot point is here. That's good news. Position yourself to or there you go. I think this is gonna have the same problem, man. Only a meter tall. Because when this is a meter tall, it's going to be a meter here. These motherfuckers will be here. And see, this main stem could be a meter tall, but then everything else has to be scaled down at least half. To go with cucumber and face the same problem. Suck it up and fix it here. Okay. I think at some point I'll have to figure this scale issue. Now, the unripe stem. Okay, this is what I remember. When you turn this off, it's only turning off the stem itself. But when you do shift this, it is actually hiding everything. So when I do shift this, I'm actually hoping they would select everything under. I could easily do scale. Let's do scale and half. But I think that's not for the fact that I did shift click. If I select this, it will do it. Yes. this half. Yeah. Monstrosity. This plant is huge. This is also huge. This bad boy here is huge. And because their pivot points are not here, so a few more headaches here. And let's see. This is now going. Good enough. Nothing is hovering, sticking out. This guy. G ship said, right? This one, the pivot was already here. That's good news. I may have to add more stuff now that the main stalk looks tall, but there isn't much going on. May increase the number of polygons, but and again, I think this may already be cut in half because the leaves have thickness. You don't need it. Okay, we'll see. Beans. Yes. And this is where that tool that I was. If I'm not exporting materials, this will look all gray. I have to do manual assignment there. For today, I'll do that. Goal is to create a pipeline. Beans. And the usual go back and forth and step use. Here's our all gray beans. It's kind of hard to know what is what. Here's the main stalk. Be green. We have some green stuff here. Mostly at the top. Material. So So maybe stems should be a little bit lighter green, and the leaves should be the light stem, 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 all the stems. This is color. You leave, and now it's a pain in the ass to only choose the leaf nodes because they are nested. I don't think there's a way to only show the leaves there, and that's what the tool that I'm talking. And when we say leaf, are we talking about the beans? It's on the, no, the beans are beans. And this looks like a lighter. This is now we'll have this. And that may have and for special cases like this, beans more like Romano beans. Can we actually look at one where actually has a texture? Red bean, not full. Um, improve the. It's a very poor quality pic. Maybe I'll look up the Turkish name because that's how I know. Yeah, this is what I remember. Can actually get a close up. It's purple or red, some white sort of noise texture. I think for special cases like that, we'll add shader into the next pass of red uh, material. So we have this. It's all good. This is just by itself this kind of material. If we add this next pass to this, this means all this material will always have a next pass. We don't want to do that. What we um, here we do. I think when we do this though, it overwrites the first material. It doesn't edit. So maybe what I'll do is assign the red material to surface one. Then under this material, I will create a very basic material without any color information so that I can write next, and then this will have that white noise. So that way we could keep the color, but only add the white noise when it is necessary, so I'm not overriding the generic red material. I think something like that could be done for dirt too. Any brown color is sort of like just brown color, but for dirt you add that noise. Right now it's manually created as dirt, so we don't need. Anyhow, this is now going to be want to open interactive. Here's interactive. We had the new item. Beans. And it actually found the model. This is good news. This actually doesn't really need it. Feel that. Save scene tabs. And after you save it, now remove the channel. All this. Lowercase up. All arbitrary. I think I should have labeled this. Anyway, marketing. So we should probably remove the P plan. This. Let's turn it on. Red. It's prefab speed. This guy has patient information. Why are you not? Because you save this mark. Okay, I think this scale is better. Yeah. Here's an eggplant. Here's and I think I may have to move the starting point of the back panel part a little bit more forward and down. This looks like it's still a bit lowering there. Okay, this is looking more and more what I want to. So that means I actually have to figure out decent scale for all these. There's some problem there. Let me move this aside. Get what this beans. Before I do that, I should select forward down to the soil. Because this beans itself, this one, copy. Going to rotate it. That is actually looking quite well in the soon. This looks actually interesting. So we need 2 more beans. Second bean can go with first. This. Some kind of rotation give you. Okay. That is third beans is gonna go with and maybe this one just chose to go behind and then go there. That is fine. So here's the end result. this one. So we have some stuff growing. Here's where the back part. Okay. I just want to try something. Let's go into the game. This is where we have the sun's travel along the sky. As you can see, the shadows are moving by every minute. And if you do the faster time mode, then just want to stick into this scene, into the sample level. Our newest trellis model or game object. Of course, because I'm still figuring out the whole workflow, which one of these trellis I'm going to put. Definitely not models. I think I'm putting the prefabs because that's the one that here is the here comes trellis. I think based on camera angle, this should be. And here's the sun's travel in the sky. Once again, this scene doesn't have anything looks. This is actually when the sun is at the top, casting shadow. But you would expect at noon this area to be. Not 100% sure where I should have the GI prop thing. Where should it go into? Did this automatically kind of? No, that's just my perception. Should this be here, or should this go into sample level? There's also. Oh, you know what? When I was importing the trellis model, did I turn it on? Did I turn on the light baking? I did not. And when I go into marketing, render the scene, will that fix the GI Pro problem? Bake. when you re-import the model, you need to double click and say, "Okay, wait for the model itself." There was some discussion about. Still doesn't fix this problem. Anyway, I don't see any difference in terms of illumination, which makes me think this GI probe should actually be part of sample level. Track with the assets inside. Yeah, now there's something. Interestingly enough, it kind of fixed that problem. Is that because the light is at the top versus marketing? Because that was, and the way to do that later in the afternoon, I think, going to be more or less. Hmm. Uh. No, sorry. Early in the day. Yeah, that would be 12 hours in the morning. Like this. So this angle, the marketing. This also has a 30-degree rotation along the z-axis. Sorry, not y. So it's coming from here. 45-degree like this, 30-degree. Whereas in the game scene, it's only coming directly from this direction. There's no deviation from this axis. I'm going to unpause. For 10 in the morning, I would expect this scene to be illuminated. Let's fast forward to noon time. Around 11 o'clock. Scene is still too dark. And then the marketing scene is too lit. Yeah, look here. I understand the sun is now moving this way. It's like this area keeps going in and out of shadow. It's like, however, pause. There's a certain quality here. Leaves here look green. When we look in marketing, or maybe they actually look green here too. Just look at when they were peas, they kind of look washed out. I did not check that actually. No, I think that's a model problem. It's like, or the fact that I actually was also changing something about the GI probe. But the one way to know about that marketing trellis, use your trellis, enable one of the beans. No, please disable the beans and just render this scene. No, not scene. Yeah. What the hell? I think there's something funny with this. That may also be due to the fact that I manually assigned the materials to the meshes for the peas plant. Sorry, for the beans, but the peas is using the Blender exported material. So there are many factors here. So go back to the sorry beans. Because the same problem exists for the peppers. So I'm going to focus my effort on this marketing scene instead of fixing the how this model looks in game. It kind of looked better for this area. It has a general darkness problem, but I've done a lot of work here, so I'm not spend more of my time on fixing unnecessary things. So I will create a better scene here, fix the light, and maybe call it a day. I think I'm going to make some tea first, and I'll be back. Okay. Some tea has been made. Get back to marketing work. Let's recap what is left. I can either fix the lighting or I can create this. Just so whether it's gameplay wise correct or not, I think we could compromise. Let's just scale this in by 1.5 times. Going to scale it. Wait. Did you even do it? Save it. Yeah. That's fine. I think what we could do is this trellis is nice. I think I also got some stone tile work done. Maybe I should put a few tiles around. Could have a bucket, that's fine. Maybe hose will be put here. Yeah, let's actually do that. Here are your plants. Open bag of dirt. I probe that. So we need stone tiles. Luckily we have 5 options. Let's not complicate it with this one. This looks interesting. We have this style. It's actually the style that I remember from with the cottage. We had tiles like garden. Soil would fill in these holes and sometimes weeds would grow. This looks more like a patio for relaxing. This is like basic. We could go with that or sort of brick-like thing. Let me see if this has different bits. It doesn't. Hmm. Maybe we'll assign different brick color, but too much work for now. If I put this though, I should also there should be something under. But then everything is sort of sitting on it. Um, this this is also single piece. Yeah, I may have to divide some sections up for a color view. Yeah, let's go with this without worrying about different bricks. So you are the one. How big is this mother? Nope. Nope, this one. Which one? I'm trying to look for the unit information. Units, yeah. Why did I? So X and Y, it's half a meter. Change to 40 centimeters. Okay. It's okay, bottom pivoted. I think 40 centimeters will be okay. This might just work. Basic export without the material. I will be stone tile brick because maybe I'll export stone tiles too. This guy. Need to go back and forth. Do your importing. Stone tile. Oh, I think what I keep light baking. Re-import. You inherited. Here's a tile. I'm going to be giving this texture. Maybe if I do it this way, I'll actually see brick color or it's more helpful. Play like do this. Save this as assets under asset stone tile. This is not an interactive object, so I'm not going to normal workflow. Go into marketing, and I'm going to create a spatial group. Going to, and it's called paving. Let's start a new flow here. Stone. Assets. Okay, I think this is when I need seriously think. I want to keep this raised. Uh, plants are plants. Plants should be part of raised beds. For now, you just go away. You, sir, is a trellis. You need to make it nice. Okay, position yourself to this dirt bag. My shovel is in it, so that's. But maybe we could actually have the stone right in. This could actually sort of push to the back. Rotate it like 35 degrees. Then this bucket looks cute. Hello, Kitty. Let's open this plastic bucket. Or not. Where is the... Oh, it's shameless. Okay, plastic bucket, good. Move this bad boy here. Tumble this. Tumble this. I think that would be 92 degrees. Yep. Move it. No, not that. So it can't be 90. Something like this. Okay. And you also rotate around your... But I have to go into the model and it's going to look awkward. Because I'm trying to rotate it along its... I think the only way I can... go in Y. In other words, this bucket has to be rotated 100 along Y. If I do 180, what exactly? This is where are you? Okay. This rotation information 80 degrees. So it did not do what? Why is it not changing? Uh, Maybe I'm moving it to... I'm just asking for this flat target. Yeah, I think so. That degree would be... surrender. It's actually... Okay. Interestingly, it's close enough. The bucket is actually down. You should also spill out the and such. So snap object to hello. Configure snap. This is what I was asking. At this part to the local space. So couldn't find a solid floor. What would you expect as solid floor? Couldn't find a solid Oh, maybe it's body. I think that is also static. One way to test that our ground is could static body. We'll also need collision sheet. Should have the same shape. This ground is actually a plane, so the collision shape could be a plane. Say that going to be disabled in the. So now, is this considered a floor? Can all this go? Let's save this scene. Bingo. Awesome. Here's some spilled peppers. I should take this trouble, move it out of the dirt bag. Then I should put or even better, just flat on the. or as if this is sort of propped up like that. Not quite sure how the whole rotation. This might be a little bit big. Yeah, probably will be compared to it. And you, sir, the paving, sir, you should on tile break. This snapping snap actually does snap. We disable this control. Control is enabling the snapping. What if we just want to snap to this? Like, wanna tile them? How do we do it? Translate snap. So it's always snapping one unit. So what language? 3D. That's two. Please no. I don't really have a grid structure yet. I do it manually enough, but still snap. More like aligning. What I'm doing. I have a centimeter, which is not 1 unit, but 0.4 unit. Can you actually do something? It is done. Appreciate it. It is done. Awesome. So when I'm doing this and hitting Control is temporarily enabling the snap option. Just putting these bricks next. Now later, what I may actually investigate is this: whether the object space for this is going to take like 45 centimeters, but then the unit itself is 40 centimeters, so you have like a few centimeters gap in between. Of course, to achieve that, what we can do is this. Let's say going to be like 45, or actually 2 centimeters is enough. So let's create 6 copies. Sure. Let's move this here. Another one here. Okay. And then another one here. I think that's it. I have 6 copies. Okay. Maybe that 2 centimeters was too much. I'll move that brick tile, the stone tile at the end, the front, because I'm else. Because when we take the screenshot, it's gonna fit in a square zone for Twitter, Instagram, and such. Most likely cover the gray area with dirt too. The other angle was just too. Yeah, this is the right one. The guy. 180, as far as I remember, was 270 was actually the sunset. This is like kind of early in the afternoon. 70 will be. I might be changing the wrong axis because I'm changing along Y. It's, but it's also going to. Yeah, I'm see when it's 270, it's coming from top left. If I make it 360, it's gonna come the bottom left, or it's 0 since the 90 will be giving us. Yeah, we should be 100. Then 40 is the. Then that's going to start. I think this. Can we see where this is actually facing? I understand it's in a different scene, but it's not really helping. It's part of the. Oh, why are you not sure? You can see it in the sun scene. Oh, I think I'm too far. That so it's actually coming from. It's wanted to come from. See what happens. Trying to see if I should emphasize this mesh here. I think the other angle is. Okay, there's enough detail. We get the whole idea. Let's fix a few more things and put the dirt here. Dirt and dirt. Ground. Ground is gray. Why are you gray? Concrete. You actually have a dirt texture. Dirt and dirt. See, when the area is too big, we lose that. Maybe okay. For a large surface, we can. Partly because this actually has to be, I think the subdivision is. And I think there is a way to override this for. I think it's okay. Some contrast there. Use some dirt. Should be most likely something. Am I taking my? How am I going to? The ugliest. It has to be raised up a bit. It's kind of okay. There's some light creeping in, or actually, it's sort of. But, okay, let's get going. Where are we? Plastic bucket F. These bits. Let's move them a little bit like you search. You. This. It's the dirt. It's to scale this back. Thing is, I bother to have all this detail. If I actually take my frame right here, it's gonna be cut off anyway. Only if I take my frame this way. This area looks a bit. I think I should move these two objects for a better comp. Should come here. First, rotate yours. Okay, you already have the rotate. You, Mr. Hose. Mr. Hose, come here. Doesn't look too bad. And maybe duplicate this. User. So and when these bad boys spilled, turn on the local mode space. Okay. Maybe you actually spilled a little bit because user not like that. It came this way and you rotate. Yeah, the origin points, I completely butchered those things. Oh, good enough. This also has to yeah, fuck off. Yeah, the axis is way off. Just weird. So the whole thing is just really butchered. See if you can. Maybe a little bit. Okay, I think that's good enough for the peppers. This shot here, the piece here, as well. Holy, what the? Okay, that is a acceptable, exciting scene. So these tiles, though, should not be sitting so much sunk a bit. Maybe they're a bit tall. So if I lower all this, I'm essentially raising the ground. It's just because this is just marketing. Surface doesn't have to be precise. The precision with more like it. Maybe a little bit lower. Okay. Just gonna adjust the sun a little bit more to have more of those grid parts sticking out or shining through. So our rotation really is minus 48 to something. So if I move minuses to, I think it's kind of helping the close. So minus 20, of course, minus 40, or it was maybe too much. It's 40. Have more of that. Okay. Minus 50. It's actually shortened. That's okay, but I'll come 50. I don't know if it's actually did. I have no idea what Z is doing in the sun's station here in terms of geography and climate stuff. I think this is the best we can do. What is this? Is it just a visual artifact? Yes. But I think I'll take my screenshot from this. Well, anyway, that's not there. There's still so much I need to learn about the processing effect. This might be something that I'm closing. This it's not something good. Need to figure out. Still a little bit exposed. Missing some designs outdoors. Here's the thing though, it looks a little bit more saturated. First of all, it's not because it's zoom level. So then does this look does does it look more vibrant here? Well, see, the details are not rendered here. It's doing real-time calculation here. I estimating. I think that's why you have cinematic. So this is what I was showing to person that this Reinhardt. Let's render this again. I think at some point I'm gonna have to assign my own materials because this hose is suffering from the same problem that pepper plants were suffering this week. There's this ghostly look, sort of see-through-ish, sort of graying out here, sort of wash. It's supposed to be green. Not, like I understand there's some shadow work there. Okay, filmic exposure one to exposure. So let's whoa, filmic to linear. Then in a reflections. Okay, I think it actually kind of made these surfaces. Okay, let's do that. I think it created some because this is without. They're sort of blending into the with them. It's as if they have a rim light. Cool. I think this is not too dark. Our first marketing shot was a bit. Second one was overexposed. This is maybe happy medium, and we have less of that ghostly look. There's still so much room for improvement about it. And I also mess with this. Yeah, I should like say, because I remember dulling the colors to prevent that washed out look. Now maybe I should. There's a it a monitor. I need to play with it, but then the threshold is a bit above, and then here. In this laptop build, it doesn't really use glow levels. Let's not mess with anything else. More or less an idea, not the precise build. Okay, so I think this is it. Here's that. I think that actually happened twice when I, regardless of the. That might be something that my graphic card. No, not this. This one. Yeah. Okay. This angle might be a good angle. Let's do Shift Windows S. Take the window. This. On Firefox. Moving. Quick break. I'll be back. out. Just need to take square portion of this somewhere. So let's start with an area. Or actually don't. Whatever is it's fine. So let's do this needs to be a bit more, right? Let's mask this. Inside this, here's your this detail. Maybe I'll write the text here, urban farmer work. This. Have the correct there, so let's take the company logo. So save this. Different campaign. Today's campaign is 17. Okay. File will be playlist. That is the fireworks. Paste the file stuff. Here's your so I think I'm going to make this part penny. This may be I sorted. Keep it here. So Nigel, if you are still watching the stream or the recording later, so I think this is the answer to your question from earlier. What was being worked on today? You asked. It is this shot, that manually curated scene that is showing some elements of gameplay. So I'll be writing some marketing text for this and post it online soon. That was today's goal. And hopefully tomorrow and the next days I'll be doing more game development complemented by some tool development. We are quickly approaching that point of doing things manually. So I need to be creating a rectangular slide. Calling this export type will be A quality reasons. Pain will be 71. We might have a bit of a still creep here, so let me just check the asset. I do because like an idiot they kept this guy this guy this guy jealous. Here comes oh I have single layer editing, that's why I can album trellis PNG save overwrite, that is good. Selected slices. Click it. Looks clean enough. Now let's do some promotion. Okay. So I think I should be putting the video separate. Not the many features. Do this, do this. And I think I will manually share this with main Godot. It doesn't let me post it. It's wired. This is the comp group. I think I'm still missing some key marketing. This is nice, but there is no call to action. Where are these people gonna go to get more information? We're posting anything. Nice to look at, but what is the benefit to my company? If I use a link though, it's going to render a preview of the link. It's going to screw up the whole image. I believe that's why Facebook is asking you to promote, so that the whole ad could be linked to a site. Okay, so another day to prove the market. I've done enough today. Gonna let the cat out. There's also Instagram. Yeah. I think the trick to post something while you're on desktop is this. Now your desktop, the app in desktop mode thinks you're actually in mobile. Don't need to cut this off. Next. Okay. Now get out of the desktop mode. Refresh the page. Use the post. That's that. Post is on LinkedIn. Okay, maybe after I post this, I can also share it with the Godot game engine group on group member. Yeah, because then it can't be anyone. It's like kind of sharing my own games plug. Otherwise, I'll have to go and create a post here, which is fine. I actually want to investigate. I have a company. I should actually be posting. Maybe this can be to anyone. This should be okay, anyone. Then cannot really share this. If people are following our page, we don't want to share. So I suppose I have to either share my profile post to Godot Game Engine group, or I have to go to the group and create a new post. And let's see what the group has been up to. 3 days ago, RTS hexagonal grid. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna need something like this for square tiles. This kind of shader. Cool. Yeah, this actually has some elements I want to use. Constraints. You cannot build into the space other object. Yep, last week we were working on this previous system and permanent placement, which led to the whole chain of tool development. Hopefully this week it will be a mix of tool and game development hand in hand. Cool. Yeah, so these objects are actually in relationship with the tower. Very similar idea. In our game trellis unit will have spots where you can plant different things. So multiple game objects will be either within its space or interacting with. Different concept, but very similar game mechanic in terms of data sharing. So who is this James? Good job, man. Good job. Okay, so what else do we need to do for marketing? Instagram done. Twitter done. Facebook done. LinkedIn done. Reddit. I should probably go and update the original Reddit post that I created. Might or yeah. This is that overexposed. The one before this was dark. So let's post. I am in edit mode. Here's big companion. Do I still have the text? hanging plant, and you should be writing this. Oh, while you're processing the image, check board, see if there's any activity. Okay, so going to be okay. That's that. Um, this is still processing image, but it's hard to believe it takes. Okay, I guess the preview never. It is too early at this point for me to even considering um, sending an email to people who actually have subscribed to Urban Farmers mailing. But I want to take this chance to look at the mail, see how there might not be too. See, so far it's just me, the person. So it would be a very feeble attempt to send it. Not because there's only one person, but um, it's still relatively new. I believe this person who recently set up might be following the social media channel. So update we have posted today already be seen by this person. So I want to start maybe blasting emails once there's more action and like more work done to remind people of, because as time moves on, people will follow the social media um, feeds less and less. Let's not just. It's too early to remind ourselves. Um, I want to check which about page. It's going to be weird. I'm kind of streaming myself doing Twitch stream. But I want to update this picture. When we add image, keep on. Huh. Uh-oh, why don't I see my latest tweet? Anyhow, I think I'm going to wrap up here. Okay. So today's main focus was creating scene manually in Godot, so I could take a screenshot and post this on social media platforms. So it's essentially preparing marketing. terms of marketing and its efficiency, I think I need to follow a better strategy, because maybe the call to action aspect is more funneling aspect. To look at all this stuff, what do they do with it? They look at it, they find it pretty, but then they move on. They felt like they actually could take more initiative about that. Because part of this whole running a game company business as developing a game also revolves around marketing. But I hope today has been useful to people who wonder how marketing for a game can be done. Discovering as I go, I'm learning. So that will be it for today, and tomorrow will be a game development. If I stream, that will be about it for today. Have fun and see you tomorrow.